if you don't speak up at a certain point and choose your passion, you're eventually going to be living someone else's passion.
Yaw Agyapong,
founder and CEO of Agyapong Films, and director of such films as High Risk and Collateral Interest.
the next major Hollywood film director of this century.
You see, you never see the real character of people until they're in peril, until danger comes or something, pressure. That's when you know who's really who. You need a team that is solely there for one purpose. You have to move on one accord. That's how you win. I think it behooves you to always try to go to the next level. When you start dealing with Hollywood stars, Haha Davis, Ndio Chan, Robert Lizardo, DeAndre Bonds from Snowfall, I got all these guys for Collateral. They cost, man. We're talking 10, 15 a day.
What are some of the biggest myths that people can see about film?
So it's easier to go amongst people that are like-minded than to go in a crowd where everyone is different. You're going to either change the people or they're going to change you. There is so much power in relationships. But I would say the biggest things are...
Yeah.
What's going on, brother?
Man, we've been waiting for this interview for a long time.
Yep.
So just tell us the journey of Yaw.
Yeah, man, it's been a long time. I started filmmaking at the age of 23. I'm 34 now. So this is my 11th year of filmmaking. And I'm gonna be honest with you, the way it started, it wasn't filmmaking. It wasn't artistic. It was school. You and I went to school together, high school. And my family's in the medical field. My mom's a physical therapist. My brother's a PA. My sister is the first Black woman to get into neurosurgery residency in Massachusetts. So she's in there now, my younger sister. So my whole point, I say to say that my parents always push education. And most foreigners, my mom immigrated from Ghana, came to this country. So I'm second generation. And most foreigners, they see education as a way out, right? Most people overall see education as a way out. You know, there's job security and healthcare, things of that nature. So that's why she pushed me in that direction. 80, maybe 90% of people end up doing a job that they don't like because they're living through someone else's eyes. Someone told them to do it, their parents, or they just follow the person. Your father's a plumber, whatever, you're going to try to do the same thing. So I was going the same route. And when I hit 23 years old, I had to fess up. I didn't like the hospital. I didn't like the loudspeak. It felt like, all due respect to people that are in the, medical field, but it just felt like prison kind of, right? I think any field, go ahead. Yeah.
When I met you, you were Teddy.
Yeah. Correct. Oh, wow. We can go deep. Let's go far back.
Yeah.
Yes. So my first name is Edward. My government name is Edward. Teddy was like a nickname given to me when I was young, like 2 years old. As I matured and learned about my roots, African roots, I learned that I'm Ghanaian, but I didn't really know my history like that. And I found out my name is really Yaw. That's like my Ghanaian name, my cultural name. So I'm like, why am I using Edward, Teddy, all these names? These are European names and things of that nature. I want to use the name that, was given to me, my birthright name. So I said, I'm going to start with Yaw. And that was like, maybe when I was 21, 22. That's when I started. And anyone I met, I say my name is Yaw. So if you know the name Teddy, that's how I know you really know me. Like someone knows me if I hear that name. Yeah. But I just made a switch. It's just, being conscious of who you are and your roots. So that's where that name came from.
Got it.
Yeah.
So, I just had to point that out.
No, that's good.
But back into the journey of, you 23 now.
So, yeah. So at 23 years old, I had to fess up because I said, going back to what I said, if you don't speak up at a certain point and choose your passion, you're eventually going to be living someone else's passion. And I said, I don't want to end up stuck, man. Student loan, debt, and it just could be a very bad life. Money doesn't make you fully happy. You can be very depressed and make money. So I said, I got to say something now. So I eventually I said, Mom, I'm not doing it no more. I'm done. So she said, what are you going to do? And I said, I don't know yet. So I sat on my mom's couch, 23 years old. I got my bachelor's degree in biology. 3 credits away from my chemistry degree, and I was applying for the medical schools. I was getting ready for the MCATs, which is like the exam you take to get into medical school. And like I said, come from a very cultural family, so it's kind of hard to just come out open and say I'm done with school. Everyone's gonna turn you, say you stupid. It's just hard, you know what I mean? Everyone turns to you, especially when you're the first in your family to do something, to break that ice, first entrepreneur, first whatever, and you're shunning away from your family and doing something different than what they want. You're gonna be the elephant in the room. So what I did is I laid on my mom's couch, and I remember this like yesterday. Everyone I tell the story to, I remember vividly. Laid on my mom's couch, and maybe for about a week straight, I stayed on a computer and just searched for like different careers. Like, what can I do other than medicine? Saw music. I can't rap, can't sing. I'm not, and that's crazy. That's a tough thing. I'm like, nah, I'm not gonna do it. What else? Sports. I went to sports. No, sports, you have to be very exceptionally good and well to get into NBA and those things. Movies are always, so when I got to movies, I said movies I always liked. But when you first think of movies, the first thing that comes to mind is what? Money.
Yeah.
Because you see the explosions on the TV and all. I don't come from money. I tell you, my first job was KFC. We lived in a house with 4 or 5 of us in 2-bedroom, 1-bedroom. I used to try to force myself to go to sleep and pray when I opened my eyes. The sun was out so I can go to school and get free lunch, sleeping from hunger. So we struggled. So I'm like, I film, we don't have no money. I'm broke. I'm getting my student refunds, the refund you get from college. I'm using those to save and buy little stuff. So I'm like, how am I going to do the film? So I did further research and found there's something called short filmmaking, like DSLRs, like these cameras here.
Yep.
I didn't know about that. I thought when you think film, it's only the big cameras, the Hollywood cameras. Yeah. So I said DSLR. Wow. So I saw the price. I said, wow, these cameras are $400-$500 back. When I was 23, 10 years ago, they're $400-$500, $600. So I had about $400 in my bank account from the student loan, right? Because you got to use it to buy textbooks, food, all that. So I ran out, and I went and bought the camera. I cleared the whole account out. But I didn't tell my mom anyway, because I told you they're going to say you're stupid. They're going to insult you because they think that you're doing something that's not going to work. Yep. You should focus on school. So I bought my first camera. I went around the neighborhood. I did this on my time off and started telling people. But I said, yo, when I get this camera, what position should I be in film? Because you can make money doing this. I started researching. And there was a position called the director. I said, what does he do? Anything that I always wanted, anything that I join, any organization, I always aim to be the leader. I never want to be the just the guy in the background or the average guy, unless I don't know about the expertise. If I'm not an expert, I have no problem listening. I think a good general also has to learn to be a good soldier first. Absolutely. So you can't step in something and say, I'm the boss. So I understand that. But at the same time, if I'm starting something, I'd rather aim to be the best than to just be the average Joe. So I said, you know what? Okay, that's the director. That's what's it? Spike Lee. That's these guys. Okay, so those are the ones that tell the story and kind of like control the set and tell them, you do this, you do this. I'm like, oh, I tell story. I like that. When I used to do the exams in school, if I do bad or good, my escape was the film, the theater. Rich, rain, sleet, snow. I used to go so much to the theater. When I entered the movie theater, Rich, they knew large popcorn, large soda. I'm telling you the truth. They knew me. Like, oh, hey, man, he's back. It was to the point where they started to think I was crazy. I used to go almost every day. My girlfriend then, which is now my wife, used to look at me and go, yo, what's wrong with you? I'm very serious about this. I said, why do you keep going to the movie? You just went to the movies yesterday. Then my mom started catching it. I didn't know that sickness that was in me. God put it in me. That was my passion, but I didn't know back then. I couldn't explain it. Sometimes you can't verbally explain something until it blossoms. Yep. So I didn't understand what was wrong. I kept going to the movies. I'm like, yo, this is dope. I like this. And I was using the school money on that. So when I finally got the camera, I started to I filled up with joy. Like, yo, I got it. I got a nice camera. And it was a Nikon D3200. And I went around the neighborhood. Now I know the title's director. But then if you're starting an organization from scratch, I told myself, you can't just go and say you're director. You need a team. I said, I need a team. What do I need to make movies? You're going to need actors. You're going to need, what do you call these people? Lighting, the gaffers and all that. You're going to need sound. So I taught myself all the positions. Every day, my mom would come downstairs, get ready to go to work around the corner from her room. And I was on the couch. Something was wrong with me. I couldn't sleep. I didn't feel tired. I'm not a night person. I'm a morning person. And usually I get very tired. I wasn't tired. On the computer. I used my student loan refund money to go get a Mac computer, my first MacBook Pro, and I would just research sound. And I saw this thing called the boom pole. And I'm like, yo, this is crazy. I started learning, what do you need? Okay, I have to buy something called the Zoom H1 record. I started learning all this. I got the Zoom recorder. Okay, I need a shotgun mic. What's that? Shotgun mic. The problem came, I couldn't afford all these things alone. Remember, I told you I only had the 400. Yeah. So I said, if I can rally up enough people to believe in this dream that we can create a film company and be successful, just like the Hollywood people, they all have moms and dads and jobs. We can pull the money together and get this equipment and make our own production company. That was my mindset. But first, you have to convince them and have these people believe in you in order for you to lead them. Otherwise, it won't work. So I said, all right. I went around. Y'all got a camera? Anybody want to act? I'm a film director. I'm gonna start doing film directing. How many movies you do? I didn't do any, but let's do it, man. And they're like, all right, cool. So my friends started coming out from the neighborhood. People started doing it. We did the first film. Just took the little camera and I bought something called a Rode Video Mic Pro, something you put on top of the camera. It's because we couldn't afford the boom note. So I just bought the camera to go on top and I'm recording with it. And slowly, after every failure, every film, I started to learn, Oh, Rode Video Mic Pro is omnidirectional. It's not catching that crisp sound. You need a shotgun mic. We eventually got the shotgun mic. Then I told this guy, you focus on sound. This is the H position. I started studying and teaching one by one. You got to do lights. Lights is important because it creates contrast. I just studied and studied and studied. And at the same time, while I was doing this, as time passed, I noticed I started to dwindle away from my schoolwork. I lost interest. I don't know. I just didn't like it. I understand education is important because thank God I went to college. It educated me historically. I'm able to hold conversations with people, articulate myself. That I appreciate. I totally appreciate, because without that, I wouldn't be able to do that. And you can't be a leader and be not educated. You have to have some type of education, whether it's formal or you're reading books or something. You have to be smart. So the school thing helped me with that. But as I went on, I got away from the schoolwork a little bit. I did the thing, and eventually 23, I said, I'm done. I got to get a job, obviously, to, pay bills, help my mom, whatever, while doing this. You can work for that person, which I had several jobs leading up to that, or I can just try to make money with this camera. So instead of us doing films in the street, let's see if we can get some people that maybe want to film a hair show or any type of event, weddings, something. So to my surprise, I'm like, yo, this industry's open. I don't think anyone's doing it. Oh, I was wrong. There's people that are masters in the wedding industry. See, I didn't know all this, that these people exist. So I'm like, yo, there's people just like me in the wedding industry. There's people that do short films. There's people that do events. I said, I'm going to start. I was going to go there. I was going to go to music videos. So I said, let's see music videos. I said, oh, there's masters in each industry. You're not the first to discover this. Somebody already came across this. So I'm like, oh. You can't do this jump around joint. You're going to have to invest time in one of those things. I said, I'm going to stick with storytelling, which is the film thing, because I loved it. The creating from scratch and I just love that. I'm going to stick with that, but I got to make money. Let me do events instead of trying to conquer an industry. Small events, what do you call it? Charity event, things like that. So this is how it started. So I post online. Anyone looking to do this event, So I got booked for a hair show event, 2014, 15, 16. But at this time, I got my second camera. Until then, I was just doing short films around my neighborhood. No money, dead broke, cold outside, hot outside. I was there. Summertime, school, I'm getting BCs, but I'm like, my mom don't know. I'm out of this, man. I'm done with this school thing, right? So I'm like, I'm just focused on the film. 2013, I land a hair show event. When I land a hair show event, I'm there. At the same time, in my head, publicly, I'm coming out and saying, the lady said you could speak on the mic. So publicly, I'm coming out and saying, my name is Yaw. I want to be a doctor as well as a filmmaker. You see how I was confused? I was in between the two. Not saying it's impossible to do that, but I was still scared to disappoint my parents, myself, and I still want to come across as an educated Black man. I didn't want to look like just a Black guy with cameras that has no education, especially in a room full of other Blacks, other races. Yep. You want to represent your race in a good way. So I said, I want to be a doctor. I want to do this, but I didn't know about entrepreneurship, which is just as beautiful as being a doctor. I didn't know about all that. I just thought, I don't want to say people look down on filmmaking, but it's not as prestigious as saying I'm a Black doctor. You get what I'm saying?
100%.
But I didn't know about entrepreneurship. Later on, that came. So when I said that, I was talking to my team, which is my friend and my old best friend and different people there. A lady comes up to me and she says, hey, how you doing? My name is Dr. Tochiroku Melise. I understand you have a film company and things of that nature. I need some stuff filmed. And you want to be a doctor? She said, right? Yes, ma'am. I'm a physician too. I said, oh, wow, that's great. She says, come to my office on Monday. No, I'm sorry. Give me a call Monday. I said, okay, no problem. I didn't know about entrepreneurship. I didn't know about business. I'm still young, Teddy. Very decent guy, but at the same time, I don't know about etiquette, formality, time. I didn't know about all that stuff, man. I was hanging out we were playing video games. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. I never did business before. I don't know anything about it. Paperwork, contract, nothing. Lawyers. I was scared of cops. I was scared of all that. So I didn't know about that. So then Monday came. The lady that hired me for the hair show event called me Monday and said, did you ever call that lady that told you call the office? I said, no. I told you I was into video game. When I'm not doing the camera stuff, the film, I was home playing GTA 4. We riding around with Nico. We getting it done, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We was playing GTA 4. We playing Saints Row. I don't know if y'all remember that. We was getting it in. So I'm like, man, we don't. But the lady said, you got to call her. That's a big doctor. You got to call her. So I'm like, yo, my mind was only two ways. Fun, money. Fun, money. Opportunities, money. So I said, oh, wow, we can get money out of this lady. I'm going to give her a call. So I give her a call. The assistant picks up. Hey, how you doing? I'm assistant. This is a Caucasian voice. this black lady got a Caucasian woman working for her? I'm telling you my train of thought. Now I start getting nervous because I'm like, oh, okay, this might be some serious, you know what I'm saying? Okay.
Yeah.
So, and the reason I say that, let me clarify. We come from a community where in this country, we're not well respected. Let me clarify what I meant by that, because that can be taken the wrong way. And we constantly, as black people, have to prove ourselves, how serious we are. And most industries that us as black folks go into is already populated with other races that took over the industry. So when you have someone from that race that is working for someone that looks like you and I, it's a shocker because we always get the short end of the stick. I just wanted to clarify that. So that's first and foremost. So it's almost like an accomplishment, almost, to have other races working for the race that gets a short end of the stick and is looked down upon in this country. That's why I said that was a shocker.
100%.
Okay. So then I go to the office. I see the lady that picked up the phone. I'm like, wow. Okay. She said, Dr. Rook will be with you in a second. All right. Just sitting there. I walk into the office, big chair. The lady turns around, says, hey, how you doing? Have a seat. And I said, yep. She says, listen, I need you to film. And cut me off if I'm going too long with this. I don't want to.
No, you're good.
Okay. I'll try to make it shorter. But she says, I want you to do a documentary for me. I want you to film my residents, which are for those that don't know, the doctors that are going to become medical doctors soon in training. Excuse me. So I said, okay, no problem. Make a long story short, I filmed the residents. The people that I had around me, this is where all the life lessons start coming in, Rich. You don't do business with friends. And if you do, be very careful. I start learning all these things. Once it started getting serious, money was involved. Deadlines needed to be met. No fun with girlfriend no more. You need to put that to the side and come to shoot this for this lady. I started to see the real character. You see, you never see the real character of people until they're in peril. Until danger comes or something, pressure. That's when you know who's really who. I didn't understand that because we were always having fun. We're going to film when we want. You wake up 12 o'clock, 2 o'clock, no problem. As soon as you get up, come outside. It's not like that no more in business. I didn't understand that. I started learning as I did it that no, you're going to come when we tell you. And it's not going to be 2 in the afternoon. You're going to wake up. You're going to wake up 6 a.m. You're going to wear a suit. You're going to come presentable to the hospital and you're going to have your company with you and you're going to film. You need to have insurance, liability. I started learning all of these things. I'm like, yo, this is deep. You don't just pick up cameras and go outside and press record. It's starting to get deeper now. So I had to eventually let those friends go. Make a long story short, that lady eventually ended up being my mentor for over 10 years.
Wow.
I did that documentary. She took me around the world, Nigeria, France. I filmed for other doctors because of her. She ended up getting sick with cancer about 2019 and almost died. Bone marrow transplant, brain clots, blood clots in her brain, a whole bunch of other stuff that she should have passed away from. She beat it. After she came out of it, as soon as she came out of it, she had the bone marrow transplant, light on weight. She said, yeah, I want you to do my life story after a decade.
Wow. And
now I directed Life Story. I finished it. We have one more scene in May. And then there's some Hollywood stuff going on with that I don't want to announce until it's confirmed. With a big, her cousin is a huge Hollywood actress that just saw it. And once everything's confirmed, if it goes that way, I'll announce it. But that is the majority of the story. A lot of stuff happened in between, but I learned. That's how I came here today, man.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just the accumulation of that story, even just looking at both of us, 2 people out of a plethora of people. 2012, 2013, that begins your journey. My journey, I just joined the military at that time.
Yep.
And then for us to go completely different routes and then somehow come back and cross paths with, the level of successes that you are doing things with Hollywood actors, Hollywood individuals, I remember looking at your YouTube and there was this one short. It was like Superhuman or something. It's red and blue. I forget the name exactly, but it's red and blue.
Innate. 2017.
Yep.
Yep.
Innate. And to see you go from Innate to literally the one with, I think her name is Vanessa.
Birth of Deceit.
The Birth of Deceit.
That was my big one.
To go to
Cure Game.
To go to
Collateral Interest now.
Yes, Collateral Interest now. I'm like, this dude is leveling up in astronomical ways.
Thank you, brother.
How do you take yourself from a Innate version to a collateral interest version?
The way you take yourself from an innate version, which is, you know, it's obviously not as good as collateral interest was prior. To a collateral interest is you have to always compare yourself to the greats as opposed to comparing yourself to those in your neighborhood. That's the mistake that I was doing. What do I mean by that? I was comparing my work and myself to the filmmakers that I was around instead of comparing myself to the ones that are at the top of the pyramid. Once I started comparing myself to the Scorsese, Spike Lee, Alexander Inarritu, Jennifer Kent, when I started comparing to the greats, those that really know how to make film on a Hollywood budget, your films and whatever you do in any industry your work will eventually surpass those that are still comparing themselves to their local friends and other people in that industry. I was always comparing myself to, yo, you saw that filmmaker? He's in Chicago. He's doing it with his team too. They're doing short films. That's why I wasn't growing. That's why innate turned into collateral interest. That's why now I'm using Hollywood cameras. I know how to do it on a budget. I know you need steady cams. We're getting locations. I hired Hollywood actors. If I was still thinking like the old the innate thing, I would never did that. I would have said, oh, we could just use local actors. I turned myself, as opposed to just being an artist, you have to incorporate entrepreneurship into the skill. And once you do that, that's how you grow. So that's how I did it.
Wow. How many, I was fortunate to meet some of your team. Mm-hmm. How big is your team now?
So, well, now this is funny. And I don't think it's like this in no, actually it is. The more you grow, the less people you're going to have. Eventually you'll meet people and you'll grow. But as you're climbing the ladder, people are going to start falling off. So now my team is about 2 to 3 people.
Oh, wow.
Yes. I'm going to explain why to you. And you remember, you came around, you saw 6, 7, 8 people. I learned something. Not everyone on your team is on your team. Some people are there for just benefits. Some people are there to just build their career. You need a team that is solely there for one purpose. You have to move on one accord. That's how you win. I was surrounded with a lot of people that had different purposes and different agendas, but they hid those agendas because they knew I can get something from this guy to fulfill my purpose. And I slowly started to catch those things. So now what I do is I keep my main core that I can trust. Loyalty is a big thing, dude, that I can trust. And then when we do films, we just hire per diem. So if I do this film, I'm going to get my camera guy, my this to this. So I have a book of cameramen I know I like that I'll choose from. A book of lighting guys that I'll choose from. But to say that you have to be loyal to me and you're on my team, I don't do that anymore. Because most people can't keep that loyalty. And usually one thing buys loyalty: money.
Wow.
So that's do it a little differently now. Yeah.
Wow. So in implementing this model, do you find it difficult to incorporate these per diem people into your structure?
No. And the reason why is because of the type of personality I think you need as a leader. Everyone does it differently. I saw your leadership is no joke. Hats off to you, no joke. I do it a little differently. I remember you and I had this conversation in Miami. You said Yaw's different from me, but the good thing, and I said this to my team, Rich and I are different, but his way works, my way works. Everyone does it a different style. And the reason why I say it's not a problem for me to incorporate this, model with these new people that are hired per diem is because the type of person I am, I'm very straight from the beginning. Yeah. I don't sugarcoat. I don't lie. I don't trick you. I learned, and I'm telling you, honestly, I used to do that because I was always afraid to disappoint people, especially doing this film thing. Again, I'm a young Black man. I come from poverty. Parents never had money. My dad was a bellman for 30 years. My mom worked at KFC, eventually became a physical therapist assistant. We don't come from no money. So there was never a sense of, someone to look up to, like, yo, this is a big person in my family. They got money. I had to build that self-confidence and slowly look at my mom as she grew in, academia. I had to watch her. And that's where the confidence came into it. But now when you're dealing with other races, again, I'm surrounded by only my race. Yeah. When you're dealing with other races, Latinx people, Caucasian people coming from all walks of life, with film is diverse. It's hard to now give directions to people that are twice your age. I'm directing actors that are 60 something. So it's like, I'm 20 something. So when they come into it, they look at it like, who's this young Black guy? You think you're going to give me directions? You crazy? I'm a 60 something year old woman. And if you don't stand up to that, you'll succumb to it and fold. Yep. And that's what happened at the beginning of my career. I was very nervous to talk to my actors. Like, again, 60, 70 something years old. I'm like, yo, how am I going to talk to these adults and tell them what I want them to do? So going back to what I'm saying, I don't find it difficult because I'm a very stern leader and I implement these things from the beginning. It's not going to be something you find out later. I'm telling you right there, this is how it's going. If you don't like it, you can go somewhere else. I would love to have you join, but there's nothing that's going to change if you join. I'm telling you, you're getting payment in net 30 or 90 days. This is how it's going to go. I don't allow cell phones, no sitting down, no giggling on set, talking to your friends, no breaks until we all go on break. If you want to go on break, you ask. And my number one thing is you have to lead with respect. You have to. There's no yo, I'm not your friend. How you doing, sir? And I'm going to respond to you the same way. Everyone that knows me know I always do this from the beginning. And you get healthy relationships that way. It's respect. And I think another thing is I used to, and let me just add this last point. I used to aim to be the friends of my employees. Very bad. Because I thought if I become their friend, people like friends. They're going to be friendly and work. Wrong. When you become friends with the people you work with or you're employing, right? Co-workers or employees, they take advantage eventually of your friendliness. And then they start slacking off and they lose respect for you. So it's just a lot I had to learn. And that's why I changed that model.
Wow. So I remember a specific moment where you had went to the mall and you bought all your people's shoes. They went to the store and they could pick out whatever shoe that they want, you know. What did that do for you mentally, being able to finally do something like that?
So like, again, I'm not a multimillionaire. I don't have the most money in the world, but I'm well off. I'm comfortable financially where I can take care of my bills. I'm not content, but I'm comfortable, well off. So I feel if you have a team or people, like I said, I don't have a big team, but if you have people that believe in you and were loyal to you, you always judge a team not based on the leader, based on how the team looks. Because the leader is always going to present himself. Nice suits, clean. Don't judge him. He's the guy that's getting the hands on the check first, all that. Judge the team, because then that's going to tell you if the leader's taking care of his people. And one thing about me, anyone that knows, I love to give. Every assistant that's ever worked with me, I surprise them with camera, anything I can do to make their day better or make them feel better. I think rewarding and positive reinforcement, B.F. Skinner, you know, psychology, positive reinforcement is very imperative when working with people. You have to be positively reinforced if you're doing the right thing, right? It's basic psychology. So we came a long way, man. We're making no money. Everything that we made, we reinvest. And if you're a real entrepreneur, you know that. 90% of the time you're broke. Why? Because you don't let your money sit. You always reinvest. So anytime I would make money, I'll say, yo, we got to go get the next camera. And you just pay yourself a little bit to survive, stay above water. But most of the time we always broke. At that point, when you saw me give them the shoes, and shoes is obviously not houses or cars, right? But it's a step, it's progress. And I think success should be judged based off progress, not where you are. So because you don't have a Ferrari doesn't mean you're a bum. It's the progress. So the progress was being able to buy someone's shoes and not myself. I said, you know what? Go in there, pick any shoes you guys want. They pick the shoes they want, and it's just progress. So it's just to show them slowly and surely these shoes will turn into car keys. Car keys will turn into houses, and it'll grow as long as we keep working. And eventually, the key thing is to branch out and go beyond film. I don't want to just be buying cars and houses. That doesn't do nothing for the society. It doesn't do nothing for people that are impoverished in our community. My goal is to reach a financial level where I can help other people that have never driven a car before, that don't have a pair of shoes. That's why I want to go back to Africa, Jamaica, here in our country, go to the impoverished communities and build film, programs and after school programs and things of that nature, and kind of continue the work that the other leaders have done. That's my real goal. Do storytelling because I love it and financially pays well, and then use the finances to help people that can't even think of film because they're dealing with, famine and things of that nature.
Wow. So if I'm correct, you don't have any formal training on any of this.
No, I never went to film school. I was supposed to be a doctor. I was en route to be a doctor. I wanted to be a dermatologist. That's all I know is medicine. And then I just hit the YouTube, man. YouTube taught me everything, dude. And then I would say YouTube taught me about 60%, 70%. The rest is life experiences. Wow. I don't care how much YouTube tell you. You're gonna fail, dude. You're gonna fail. I did commercials. The friends that I had, what do you call this thing? Hard drives, burning the hard drives. They deleted all the footage. Now I got to tell the client the movie's canceled after they just spent. Oh yeah, I've been through it, man. Woo. Late to events because this guy want to go hang out with his girlfriend, and now I walk into the event and a whole room full of people. We press play and the DVD player don't work, and they all stand up and walk out. Been through crazy stuff at my own film premieres, giving popcorn to people while I'm sweating in a bow tie, and the premiere's falling apart. And then the movie fails. I've been through a lot of stuff in this industry, man. But without those failures, there's no way I'd be in Miami today.
Wow. And so when you're dealing with stuff like this, how do you get to the point where, I think it was upstate New York, you sectioned off a whole town to film something, and you were like beating on a broken car or...
Yo, this brother's good. This dude don't got no pad in front of him. He got a bottle of water and a black shirt. and he's asking questions like he's reading. Yo, you good? I'm not gonna lie, you good. Richard's good. So I'm shocked right now. So again, anything I do and anything I think people should do, I think it behooves you to always try to go to the next level. Don't do things that are going to be on the same level. You hit that plateau. Like, oh, our last film did well. Let's just do the same thing. Nah, man. Because eventually people are going to catch up to that formula. So you always want to go to the next. So I said, what film did it? That was Cure Game. I forgot what I did before Cure Game. Oh, Birth of Seed. I said, Birth of Seed, we did well. We rented a house. We traveled. We rented that one house, Birth of the Seed. About 13, 14 of us stayed in that one house. We made this film. Struggling, eating pizza, potatoes on the stove, cheap food to make this film. Next film, we're going to travel. We're going to eat. We're going to do the same formula for Birth of the Seed, but you just add a little. That's how you go to the next level. If one formula worked, keep that formula but add a little more to it and keep building. What are we going to add? We're going to shut the whole city block down in Binghamton, New York. We're going to flip a car over. We're going to break the windows, have people jump on the top, have the lady hanging out the window with a shotgun. Let's go to the next level. This is crazy, but I think it can work. And then you just find ways around it. I start contacting the junkyard, contact police officers, contact the fire department, permits for the guns. I did all this, travel upstate with everyone. And that's why I said none of this would be possible if you don't get people that don't believe in you. You need a team. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean you have to have a team at your disposal at any time, right? You don't need to do that. Like I said, you can hire people per diem, but your reputation has to be strong enough where that if you call on someone, they say, I know this guy's reputation, I know his resume, I believe in him, I'll follow you. So that's why I always try to keep that clean resume and name. And that's why I always preach to my team, your name is everything, dude. Once your name is tarnished, you can move to Hawaii. It's going to catch. Your name will get there before you land in Hawaii, man. It'll get there before you get there. So as long as you keep that reputation, people will follow. And as long as I kept that reputation, people follow. They'll assist you without you even asking. People say, yeah, I'll drive out. Yeah, I'll pick up the lights. Again, not a million. We didn't have it. I'm scraping up funds, but people were doing it. Yeah, I'll do it for you, man. And that's how we got that film done with the help of everybody.
So what's the biggest budget that you've ever worked with so far?
So far, Collateral Interest is the biggest budget, pushing close to $1 million on Collateral Interest. Just not even marketing, just close to $1 million with Collateral Interest. And that's for 4 episodes. And that, you learn. So one thing about me, again, as you start a business, you have to learn every position. That's just my take on things. So I also became a good producer. I know how to cut budget. And when you don't have money, what happens if you have a family? You're going to learn how to split that apple in 6-7 ways. You 100%. See what I'm saying? So I had to learn how to split this little bit of money and still make the film happen. So I've always been good with budgeting with the film. Like, we can't do this together. And then sometimes you could turn up. Sometimes we get a few guns. Sometimes sometimes you play, but you have to know what to cut on. And I did that. So Collateral Interest, what really took up the chunk of the budget is the stars. When you start dealing with Hollywood stars, HaHa Davis, Indio Champ, Robert Lizardo, DeAndre Bonds from Snowfall. I got all these guys for Collateral. They cost, man. We're talking 10, 15 a day, 10 to 15,000 a day, just their pay. Right. And I'm not saying any names, obviously, but this is generally speaking, some of these actors, some are more 10, 15 a day. Then you have to take care of their housing. You have to take care of their food. You see what I'm saying? Their per diems meaning they want any extra chips or candies, you got to go get that. Coffee, and you have to always make sure they're comfortable. Very difficult when you don't have a Hollywood trained team. Yeah. And you're the only one with the most experience. But you push through. There's no excuses, dude. And I got it done eventually. You just push through, man.
So what is Collateral Interest?
Man, Collateral Interest is a TV show about a man that has his brother abducted by the Mexican cartel. And he has to pay them $18 million in order to get his brother back. He doesn't pay the $18 million, he loses his brother. And the reason I wanted to do I always want to do a cartel show. I love Ozark, love Breaking Bad, love Narcos. But I noticed something in those 3 shows or movies, where there was never any black people. I said, what the heck? There was never a black cartel show? Never. Think about it for a second.
You're right.
There's no black cartel show. Anytime there's a black show with any gangsterism or things of that nature, right? It's always just in the hood. If you really think, and no shade to them, Raising Kanan, BMAT, all those things are hood, drug, weed, cocaine, heroin. That's it. But there's never anything that intertwines cultures. Never seen it. Black culture, Latinx culture, black men being taken out of his environment and taken to Mexico. I never seen any of that. I'm going to do it.
Wow.
I said I'm going to do it.
And so with that, do you feel because you do have a lot of the actors and actresses that you work with. Some of them repeat in some of your works. And so the Jose is actually one of them. And what do you look for in an actor?
Competence, number one. 2, are they directable? Right? Can they comprehend the script? Things of that nature. They gotta look the part. Obviously, if you're looking for a bad cartel guy, you gotta look like a bad cartel guy. But then again, some actors can surprise you. They don't look the part, but their acting is superb. But the biggest thing I would say I look for with actors is the ability to listen. Because a lot of actors do short films. The ego's out the roof. Like when I say out the roof, it's you can't tell them nothing. You probably dealt with it in the modeling world with certain girls or guys.
Absolutely.
It's out the roof and you can't tell them anything. And it just hurts you and your film. So that's my main thing. Are you able to listen to direction? Because the vision's here. Not with you. I wrote the script. I called you. So you got to listen to what I'm saying. And I got certain actors like, yo, I don't think he should do it that way. I think he would do it this way. I'm a director too, Yaw. That doesn't work. You can't have 2 kings in one house. It's just not going to work. It doesn't work, bro. This is why I said the establishment of positions is very important in any industry. You have to establish, you are my assistant, not friend. You're not equal. You're my assistant. You do your job. We're good. I'm this guy. If you don't establish positions, you'll see people eating each other alive to get to whatever position they want. And you can't have that. So that's why what actors always tell them, you're my supporting. I see. If you don't tell actors that, I've seen it where they like, yo, I'm better than your lead, man. You should have hired me, man. And they try to play. You came to my set before, actually. I just remembered. What was it?
Davis.
No. High Risk.
Yeah.
Remember how nasty the guy was?
Oh, yeah, the cam op.
Yeah, I don't want to say his name. Remember how nasty that guy was?
Yeah.
I don't deal with that guy anymore. This is why I said it's important to establish, what do you call it? What was I saying? Establish positions, ranks. I take fault in it. So I apologize to you, and I'm going to tell you why. I saw an attitude in that guy from day one. The reason I didn't check it is my fear of losing him. Because if he would have walked out, we'd be screwed. Like, in terms, we didn't have a cameraman and stuff like that. But what I learned from that, you have to be willing to lose anyone. It doesn't matter, dude. That's why, thank God, I taught myself to positions so I can shoot. You have to be willing to lose anyone, but never let someone jeopardize your reputation or the energy in your company just to get something done. Never do. And I learned from that. Actually, when you left, he did something else, and I actually checked. I had a long talk, so don't ever do that again. So I want to apologize to you.
He influenced.
I was going to say cancer.
Gaffer dude.
There you go. Cancer. And this is a very serious thing. When you don't check someone, and what I mean by check doesn't have to be rude, because I don't like being rude to people. That's why I said respect. I don't disrespect people. There's still a way to be assertive and tell someone what you don't like without saying, yo, don't do it. I'm going to be, you don't got to do all that. So there's still a way to tell the guy. But when I didn't do that, it spread like a cancer. And I actually lost relationships because of that guy, which is crazy. I think what's meant to be is meant to be. But I learned from that, man. So I want to apologize to you. Because that doesn't happen anymore on my set.
It's all good. He wasn't a reflection of you. I already knew, because I deal with people as well. So, no, this is interesting. So, you in your directing era now, you've been doing it for over a decade.
June makes 11 years.
What are some of the biggest myths that people can see about film?
You said myths? I would say, first and foremost, that you can't do it, that it costs too much. That's not true. Dudes walk around with Jordans on their feet that just came out, 200-300. They got nice little gold chains. They go out to dinner. It's cap. You could do it, bro. You know exactly what it takes. You know what it takes. That's why when dudes ask, yo, how did you do it? Where'd your journey start? You know where it started. Started the same place you are now. Home doing nothing. Chasing girls. You know where it started. You just don't want to do it. You don't want to go to the gym. You don't want to work out. You don't want to eat healthy. All those contribute to a healthy career. Dudes don't know that. I had to, and I'm telling you something I just found out recently. I was overweight. I was over 200 pounds, man. 200 pounds, and it was killing me. It takes away from, when you lack in one area of your life, it'll spread. That's my whole point. So you know what it takes, bro. First, take care of yourself. Get mentally right. Discipline. You got to be, it's one of it's easiest thing to say, easiest word to say, but it's so difficult to say no. So the myths are you can't do it. You can do it. You know what it takes. Discipline. Stop going out. Cut this. I think everyone has the ability to be successful. It's just you keep choosing not to be, dude. So just don't blame them. All you got to do is do it. Just get up and do it, bro. And plan. That's another thing. You have to plan. But I would say the biggest things are just that you can't do it. It's too difficult. It's too expensive. It's too hard. If you stick with something long enough, eventually it'll work. That's what I think.
Wow. If you could work with any actor, who would it be?
Dang, that's a hard one. Wow. One person?
2, actor, actress.
Sheesh. One would be, dang, so many coming to mind that's popping out. I love Viola. I love Angela Bassett a lot. That's somebody. Lupita Nyong'o. I love her. Digimon Hansu, you know him? Digimon Hansu is the one. Y'all ever see Constantine? Constantine with
the old school one?
Yeah, Constantine with with Keanu Reeves?
Neil, yeah.
Keanu Reeves. You ever seen the new Quiet Place? You see the trailer?
Yep.
You saw the guy that goes shh, the bald dude that tells Lupita shh. That's him. That's Digimon.
Okay.
If you think of his face, yeah, he's
okay.
Amazing. I like him. Denzel, of course. That's an average answer you're gonna hear is Denzel. There's so many though, dude. I love Joaquin Phoenix. What he did with Joker. I would love to work with Joaquin. I want to work with people that are passionate beyond the average person. That's it. That's what I'm trying to. People that are insane about it.
So like a Heath Ledger, or is that too far?
No, it's not. That's the guy. This is not a hobby. I need to work with, because that's how I am. I need to work with those guys because it's just going to fuel me more. Because when you put a person that's not average amongst average, either one or two things are going to happen. Either that unorthodox guy that's not average is going to turn into an average guy, or the people will not be average anymore. One will influence the other. So it's easier to go amongst people that are like-minded than to go in a crowd where everyone is different. You're going to either change the people or they're going to change you. And that's why I want to be around people, like you said, Heath Ledger, Joaquin Phoenix, that take different paths and methodologies to become the person.
So from your standpoint, when it comes to the Black community, why do you feel, or, what's your take on there not being more prominent Black filmmakers or directors?
Wow. Hollywood level?
Hollywood level.
The industry, listen, I'm gonna be very honest with you. It's very difficult as a Black person to get in the game. There's a myth that says Black films don't sell overseas. I don't know if you've ever heard of that before.
I've heard it.
Okay. They say there's a myth that Black films don't sell overseas. A lot of people in the industry don't want to give Black folks a chance, right? Because of maybe certain instances, things that we've seen in media, certain people getting in trouble and things of that nature. See, the thing about being Black is you got to understand something. You're the minority in the country. And what I mean by minority doesn't mean you're subservient to anyone, but percentage, 13% of us make up this country, right? United States. So when one Black person does something wrong, unfortunately, you got it. A lot of us get that rep. That's the bad part. We always get the short end of the stick. So now when there's an industry that's very wealthy and resourceful, they're not going to make it as easy for you to come in there. Because if you get in there, you're going to bring who? Other Blacks in there. They know that already. They're not stupid. You're going to let other Blacks in there. So instead of begging for an opportunity, Hollywood's a lot of nepotism. They go with their cousin, the friend, that's my man. They lock that door.
Yeah.
They're not letting you in. So that's why anytime I see a Black or Latinx or Asian or someone that's in the door that looks different than generally what Hollywood looks like, it makes me happy because it shows opportunity. But that's why it's up to me. When I get in the door, I want to bring other people in as well that deserve the opportunity. I'm not giving no opportunities just because you're Black. That don't make no sense. That's how I used to think. Oh, he Black, man. Nah, bro. That messed me up. You give it because first and foremost, the person knows what they are doing. Give the best person the job, not just because they Black, the best person the job. And then it's icing on the cake if they Black. Then it's like, okay, cool. And he's Black too. So it's diverse, it's cool. So that's the model, I think. You have to be deserving of it. And I think you just got to keep pushing. But instead of begging and searching for agents and contacting, bro, build your own. Tyler Perry did it. He showed us the blueprint. He said, while y'all begging for a seat at their table, what'd he say? I'm building my own. That's what Tyler said.
And so now that you bring him up, that brings up a good point, because how do you feel about because there's a battle and there's people on both sides of it, and you've probably heard from them, but the demasculization of the black man when it comes to putting on a dress in film and stuff like that, or people might say things about Martin with Shanae, or even Big Mama, or Tyler Perry with Medea, or even the Wayans brothers with white chicks. But then you have the other guys like Cat Williams or Dave Chappelle, who's like, I'm not doing that. I don't need to do that, especially to not only be funny but to be a star.
I'll say this first and foremost before I dive in a little deeper. To each his own. You want to put on a dress? It's not my business to come and convince you and say, don't do it. It's totally up to you, bro. Now, if someone asks me for advice, they want me to put on the dress, I would say, what is I would dive in deeper. What is the necessity? I would talk to the producer. Why do you need him to do it? Does he have to be in a dress? Why not just hire a woman? Why not give a job to somebody in the LGBTQ community that may be comfortable? And just because you're from the LGBT community doesn't mean you're comfortable putting on a dress. But try to give the job to somebody that may be comfortable. But if this gentleman doesn't want to put on a dress, find someone else to do it. So that's first and foremost. That's why I said to each his own, because everyone that you just said that put on a dress was not forced to. They always made the decision to do it, right? Tyler Perry put on a dress, but he employs, how many black people did he employ? He brought black people's careers back from the dead. So you're going to knock him because he put on a dress? That's up to him. Now, to Cat Williams' point, Cat Williams believes that there's a curse. When you put on a dress, your career fails and things of that nature, and demasculate, black men. That comes back from slavery. That thing, we know that. Buck breaking and things of that nature to demasculate the black man. So do I feel there's a need for it? I'm not going to say I feel there's a need for it. No, I'm not going to say that. I think they can easily hire a woman. If they see it for entertainment purposes, so be it, as long as both parties agree on it, right? You can't knock another man for eating a cheeseburger. Like, why you eat that cheeseburger, man? You know he want to eat it. Leave him alone if he wants to put on a dress. But if someone does not want to do it, and it's being threatened, they lose their job or blacklisted for not doing it, then it's wrong, I feel, right? And I don't think that situation ever occurred. So I think it's to each his own. I wouldn't do it. I'm never going to do it in any of my movies. If I want someone to wear a dress, I'm going to hire a woman to wear a dress or someone that's comfortable doing it. But I don't see the purpose in putting a black man in a dress for entertainment purposes. And I don't even do comedies like that. So I don't feel a need for it, but so be it if they want to do it.
Got it. So when you have conversations with the big ones like Netflix or HBO, Showtime, whatever, how do you get to the level where you're beginning to bridge that gap to where your accessibility now grows millions of people, because millions of people do watch these platforms? How do you go from, hey, I only have $1 million budget, but here, past the Amazon Primes, past the YouTube, TV, all of that stuff?
How do you get to that level, you're saying? Dude, I'm going to say it's not just work. Another thing I learned is who you know. Listen, man. There is so much power in relationships. And that's why I always tell dudes, if you're not going to work out with somebody, or you're in a relationship with somebody, whether romantically, business, try your best to let it, to sever it in a decent way, man, and still be cordial, because relationships are powerful. And if you're not careful, they'll come back to bite you. 99% of Hollywood is based on relationships. This agent knows this person. He knows this person. He calls, how many people did we hear got blacklisted? Because you got into something with this guy. What's the name just came and spoke about? Monique. Remember? Yeah. I don't know if you... So that blacklisting is a real thing. Not saying there's any truth to it, because I don't know. In terms of her situation specifically, I'm saying I don't know about her situation, but it is a very real thing. So the way you get to where I am, first and foremost, you have to show the skill set. You don't just do it because you're a nice guy. They're not going to take you. You have to show that, okay, you can make a movie, or you can act, or you can whatever, do gaffing. Like, you have to show that you are capable of doing the job. That's number one. Number two, you have to have some business sense. You have to have some type of business sense, some type. You can't just be a dummy going into it blindly, right? And the reason I say this is because you have to know what you want. If you come into it, I just know how to make film, but what do you want? What do you see your career in 5 years? What about this? What about, you don't have any answers? How could you lead a dummy? That means he'll go anywhere you pull him. So that's not going to work. So you have to have some type of direction in terms of what you want. 3, you have to be articulate. You have to learn how to talk to people. You have to learn to tell people what you want in articulate fashion. And that is how you go and build relationships. You're going to have to go out for that coffee, man. You're going to have to buy some people lunch. I'm being dead honest. You have to do it. Once you build relationships, this is how you get phone calls later on. Like, yo, yeah, what's going on? Yay. We're going to put your name in the bucket for Marvel. There's a new Marvel movie coming out, superhero. We're looking for some directors. We're going to put your name in the bucket. Yeah. That's how you get it. You don't just get it by being a good director, because there's a lot of good directors. I'm not going to say names. Don't have jobs today. Hollywood directors that don't have jobs today. Actors that are good don't have jobs today because of their conduct on set and off.
Wow.
You got to be a gentleman or a lady.
Wow. So with all of this experience combined, you know, you have a daughter.
Correct. 2. Yep.
2.
Yeah,
Wow.
just recently. Yeah.
Wow. Congrats.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
You know, what kind of path would you want your daughters to lead?
Career-wise, you mean?
Mm-hmm.
I tell my wife all the time, listen, now that I grew out of that, the college thing, nah, we're not doing the college thing. And I don't knock anyone that does. Nothing's wrong, because you need doctors, bro. If you get sick, you got to see it. So I'm not trying to say that college is bad and things of that nature. So let me clarify. If you want to go to college, if my daughters want to be a doctor, a lawyer, you can't. You have to, obviously. You got to get, your JD. You got to go get your MD. You got to go do those things. Engineer, things that you can't just pick up on YouTube. You need certificates and degrees to prove that you can perform. Then you got to go. I have no problem paying for that. But if it's something like acting, they want to direct like me, or any trade that can be learned, I'm not going to blow $100,000 in school to go teach them how to do that when I can do that. But most importantly, what I want my daughters, the careers or the lifestyles rather, I want them to lead is how to be independent in the sense of business, not relying on a man for stuff and staying home, or how to be able to create something from nothing. That's what I want my daughters to learn. Entrepreneurship. That's what I did. Once they learn that, you'll never go hungry. If you can learn how to create something from nothing, you'll never go hungry, because someone can strip it all away today. I'll get it back because I have that trade. I have that skill set with me. So that's the most important thing. Whatever career they choose, because when you're relying on the job, relying on your wife, you're relying on your husband or whatever for just the lifestyle you're living or your well-being, what happens if you lose that job or that you're screwed? So as long as you can learn that independence, right, then you're fine.
I feel like, just the amount that we learned, and I see why older people become wiser people, is because as I get older, I become a lot more wiser. And just with the ignorance of not knowing the things you don't know, like even something as simple, and I'll say this super, super quick. I'll say this super quick, and it's going to go over a lot of people's heads. I ask people, and this is stuff that I've learned and I can't even implement because of past old dumb things that I did, but I know it now, so that when my life does get corrected in a certain way, the implementation is already there. But you have your 7-figure and then you have your upside down T. And a lot of people don't even know what that is when it comes to business. And especially if a lot of people in general don't know what that is, then the Black community doesn't know what that is. And, your 7-figure, think of a number 7, whichever way you're looking at this, your C Corp is going to be right here. And so a lot of people, when I talk to them now, they're like, yeah, we have an LLC. How are you going to get money with your LLC? LLC just means your limited liability. And so a lot of people have their things in LLC, and then you have your C Corp, your S Corp. And S Corp, that's if you just want somebody to invest in your business and they have no part of it. And a lot of people get caught up in S Corp. Okay. C Corp is the mother of all corporations, where literally your only existence for your C Corp is to get money. It's not for the actual business. Your corporation, a C Corp, is just for you to get money. Once you get that money, this is the 7. It's at the corner of the 7. At the bottom, you have your DBAs. You can have as many DBAs as you want. And then when you branch out, this is you, your PG, your personal guarantor. That's guarantoring your corporation. Now, if that corporation gets into something, you drop it. This is what the rich do.
Yep.
But you're building it up on such a level. This corporation is what's getting you the 100, 2, 3, 4, 5 instantly. Because when you build that C Corp, you get a stock and you start giving those out. You start building it up, and you can go into, there's 5 popular business trade lines. You have your Dun and Bradstreet. You have your small business something. This is where the banks just talk to each other. You have your PayNet. This is if you want to do like Turo, real estate.
Yeah.
You have your NAV, and you have the other stuff. Excuse me. And so you have all these people that are doing these things, but then our community gets taught about Quill or Uline.
Okay.
It's like $50 a month. How are you gonna pay $50 a month and ask for 100,000?
Yep.
It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
And we live in the age of a lot of scammers and gurus and credit people that do all this and do that. And bro, just the stuff that I've learned over time, the amount of money that's just there is insane. You can build a corporation and, forget building a corporation. You have a corporation. You can buy an age shelf life corporation is what it's called. There's people online right now, lawyers, that'll physically sell it to you. Cost about $14,000. You can go borrow that from somebody. $14,000. Immediately, that age corporation will give you $50,000 because it already has the age limits that it needs for the sale of credit. And so now you're attaching yourself to it. You don't want to get it with an EIN, because if you get it with an EIN, that person can still dabble in it or whatever. So you want to make sure it doesn't have an EIN attached to it.
Okay.
You're going to make an EIN that goes into
a
it.
Fresh one, yep.
Fresh. And then you want to make sure it's unpublished, because the bank can see when you bought that from somebody else. Even though it's a 5-year-old, whatever, blah, 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 they can see, oh, well, you just bought it last week. And they will still deny you. These are things that they don't tell you, but these are things that I'm learning from Derek Whitehead and
it's not a joke,
Carl Washington
and to your point, I just want to say this gentleman is the one that told me to stop using my debit card and start using a business credit. Do you remember that day?
Yeah.
So this is and I think we were eating some, I don't know where we were, some restaurant or something like that.
The Asian restaurant.
Yeah, and I pulled out the debit card, and he said, "You still using debit cards, man?" And I said, "Yeah, what's wrong?" And then he said, "Dude," he pulled out an ROV, ROV is his company, credit card. And he said, "You got to start using your business credit card." And I'm like, "Why?" He said, "Write-offs and things of that nature. You never want to put it on debit. You don't get anything back for debit. It's just like you're losing money for nothing." He taught me that. This is what I'm, and I say that to say, this is why you need friends in other industries. This is why you need to surround yourself with educated people. If dudes is around you all day talking about the new hip hop, Love and Hip Hop episode, did y'all see what she did? It's just, and it's okay to have entertainment, but majority of the time, if that's all your conversations consist of, you're never going to grow. And just being around this guy, what was that? Like an hour.
Yeah.
I learned that.
That was like 3 years ago almost.
Yeah, almost 3-4 years ago. So you bet that helped me grow as a filmmaker, as an entrepreneur, and things of that nature. What you taught me, and you just need to be around different people. So that's great that you brothers are doing these interviews, because you're learning at the same time, and that's how you grow. You take what you want and you apply it, brother. So that was dope, man. Psychology,
Attractive Mindset. That's the name of the podcast, and bringing people in from different industries to learn their story, but also how to be successful within that industry. Because a lot of people that watch this show they may not know exactly where they are in life, and they might be dealing with film or credit or taxes or, production in general or whatever industry that they're in. Some people may be far along, some people may be just starting off. It just all depends. But to give your 2 cents, you've made multi 6 figures, in that industry, and you've been doing it consistently for a decade.
And I want to add, yes, he's right. Made well over 6 figures. I closed these deals myself. You have to understand the importance behind that. The reason I say that is for my filmmakers, business, whatever you are, again, any industry, if you don't know how to talk to people or close deals, there's no films, Rich. If I didn't learn how to talk to these people, my resume would not have grown. Because once again, I don't have those resources to film these things. I need people. So I used to get clients, but you have to learn how to talk to these clients to get the deal closed, make the movie. That's why you see on Instagram and YouTube, directed by Yaw Agyapong. I didn't pay for it. The client did. So it goes back to the business skills. If I didn't know how to get the deal done, I didn't see you did film in a long time because I don't got no money, Rich. That's why. That's why I didn't do film. So it's very important. Like you said, you made multiple six-figure yes because I was able to talk to them, convince them and say, listen, this is a good opportunity for you. It's a good opportunity for me. Let's come together. Let's close the deal. Then we make a film and your resume grows. Eventually, at a certain point, the beautiful thing about our industry is once your work is good enough and you reach a certain point, your reputation precedes you, but you also no longer have to talk and close deals. When you get to a certain point in business, you don't have to close the deals anymore. Your reputation closes them for you. I don't need to convince. You know what I do. You see?
And then, if I'm not mistaken, having the proper above the line people, so
oh yes,
I feel like
I was gonna say that. Yeah,
you had Devin
Richardson.
Yep.
Yeah. Where did you meet that?
I didn't meet him. Listen, I study. Hey.
Oh yeah,
I study.
So Devin was an old business partner of mine. We went separate ways now, but shout out to Devin Richardson. Yes, very educated brother though. Devin was a very educated, and that's what I was trying to say. You need people that you surround yourself with that are educated or good at something that you are not. I got a new business partner, Jeff Youngs. He's good.
I know Jeff.
Oh, you met Jeff too?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm losing. Oh, Miami Young. You met him.
Yeah.
So Jeff's the thing that good is Jeff. The thing that Jeff is good at that I am not. He can talk to a certain crowd of people that I can't connect to. Do you see what I'm saying? Jeff comes from an impoverished background as well. Jeff started in the streets and things of that nature. He was able to grow past that, but he's still able to tap into those things given those circumstances.
Bigs.
Right? You get what I'm... Yeah. So when we go in certain situations, and not just street people, Jeff has a way with people, man. When we're in a tight situation, there was a casino in high risk. It was going to close. The lady was being paid to stay that she owned the casino. Like she was like a manager for the casino. And they were kicking us out. Everybody was like, "Yow, they're gonna throw us out the casino, bro. We can't shoot this last scene. We're done. The client's gonna get pissed." I can't go talk to. I'm trying to direct. You can't be everywhere at once. That's why you need a team. Yeah. I said, send Jeff. At this time, no one knew Jeff's skill set. Like Jeff just comes to set. He looks fly. He don't talk, man. Nah, we ain't. I said, send Jeff. I know him. That's why I bring him around. Just send Jeff. He said, "Yow, it's a white lady, man. The lady's not gonna give Jeff the." She's not, bro. We're not doing it. I said, send Jeff. You'll see. I said, yo, Jeff, come here real quick. He came. He said, what's up, coach? He calls me coach. I said, Jeff, can you go talk to the lady, please? And just, because we needed to film the scene, Jay. So just please go talk. So I got you, coach. Everybody's like, yow, bro, what are you doing? Jeff is always late with the food, the pizza. You have to understand the reason you bring. This is what a leader, see, regardless of outside influence on what people try to tell you about certain people on your team, never be influenced by that. You listen to it and hear it, and you may look out for certain traits, but never let that sway your mind as a leader. Your mind should never be swayed easily. You have to stand your ground. I knew why he was around. He went inside. He came back out. He said, coach, it's done, man. I got it. And he got back on his phone taking pictures. Everyone was like, what? Because the lady was so irate when they went in there because he possessed the skill that they don't have. Yeah. So they're confused. How was he able to do it? That's what I meant. What he may be good at, you may not be good at, but that's why we all need to come together. And that's my point. So, yeah.
No, 100%. Everybody has a role.
Exactly.
And if you might be great at directing, but he might be great at small talk. You know, and even just those minuscule skills when you're on the same thing, the round table, the knights, King Arthur, you know what I'm saying? All those different knights, and this is what people don't talk about with the knights of the round table is all those different knights were in control of different territories. In those different territories, they had to format themselves to the people, and so they led differently. And those people, Lancelot, all of them, I forget all their names, but they each led their territory in a different type of way, and some even different type of languages. Wow. And so when he brought them all together, that's why he was the king, because he controlled everything, but he had individuals that
commanded
governed.
Yeah,
correct. And
so that's amazing.
Jeff, with Jeff, the one time I met him, absolute servant leader. You know, just even seeing that from him, the energy that he puts in, the hype, like, yo, let's do this. Yes. The excitement.
And and Jeff has his own background. Like I said, I didn't build Jeff. He built himself. Jeff comes from music videos. Big music videos in Jersey. I don't know the rap Chef G, something like that. Chef G. Some of them rappers.
G?
No, Chef G.
Yeah, I don't know.
He works with a lot of those guys, and he comes from that world. That's his world. He just transferred to film. But again, you can't have two kings.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm going into your industry, Rich, or I'm coming to your company, you are the leader. I'm following you. I'm just doing my job. And that's why I always respect Jeff. He said, at a certain point in life, if you want to be successful and you join an organization, two people can't have swords up. You have to put your sword down, wave the white flag, and follow one goal. And Jeff understands that. And one thing I like about Jeff, he's also the barometer to make sure everyone is on the same page. So if you come in there, he's going to check you to make sure that you're following this one accord. Coach is the star. Yaw is the guy, not you, me, and him. Not this lady wants to do 10 movies next. She's up next. No, it don't work like that. Do you understand that Yaw is the star? Yes, we have to push him because when he gets in the door, guess what happens?
Everybody else gets
Y'all don't get it though. You know why? Because there's a lot of envy and greed when someone sees someone becoming successful because they want that position. It goes back to the beginning of time, Lucifer and God. It goes back. When someone sees the Rich, I don't like him, man. Why? He got this thing going on. He think he did, Michael Jordan and this. I don't like him. I could do my own podcast. How many podcasts have we seen where, the hosts leave and they go do their own thing and build their own thing? And most of the time what happens? It fails. Do you notice that?
It does.
They go do their own podcast and it fails. Why? Because what drove you out that podcast was only greed. You didn't understand what Rich was doing. The reason why Rich looks good is because he put in the work. There was a formula behind what Rich was doing.
Structure.
He didn't, yes. You thought he just woke up one morning, sat on the couch, and you thought you could do the same thing he can do until you sat in that chair. Then you saw the bills hit you for the podcast, the cameras. You got to pull the SD cards out. What's SD cards? Those are the memory cards. You got to pay for those. Then you got to edit it. You got to keep it in file and storage in case you want to use highlight footage later on or revisit it. There's a lot that goes into being a leader. Dudes just see the look and go, dang, this guy looks good, but they don't know what came before the success. Yeah. They don't know how you got there. That's why you don't judge. And if you want the leadership position, step up. And most of the time, when dudes step up, Rich, to the leadership position, they go back down. Like, oh yeah, this ain't for me, dude. It's too much stress. So for being a leader, you have to be able to endure stress, a high level of it, and also take on everyone else's stress. Because people are going to come to you, my girlfriend this. You know how many conversations I have with certain people, man? My girl left me, my wife this. People, actors that are millionaires crying to me, telling me, I'm just so tired, man. I'm an investor. I deal with so many millionaires and money. I'm sick of people go through stuff, bro. And I've seen this. I don't have millions of dollars once again. But if a multi-millionaire sitting on my couch crying to me, telling me I'm so tired, man. I'm so tired, yeah. And I'm having private conversations with these people. You don't have to be great. You don't have to have money to be great. That's what I learned. Because a man that has way more money than me is looking at me as a leader.
It's mindset. And
yes.
That's what I tell people all the time, when I tell them I'm a business mindset coach. They come to me and they want to do all these execution techniques like, how do we market? How do we do this? How do we do that? We start with your structure. Oh yeah, but how am I getting more people? We start with your structure. Yeah, but how am I getting we start with your structure. It all goes back to the same thing. You look at the board, structure. Like, how do you get anything? How does anything make money? We've been fortunate to have like 3 or 4 businesses that all do multi-6 figures. And so it's like, okay, cool. It all got the same structure. How can I get into podcasting last year and reach 6 figures? I've never been in this industry before. Not a podcaster. I still don't consider myself a podcaster. I have a podcast. I'm a businessman that has a podcast. Having conversation, learning. Learning has to always occur. Even something that we do, reading, I haven't missed a day yet on reading a book.
Wow.
I'm up to 8 books so far for the year.
Wow. It's amazing.
But it's the compound effect that people miss out on is they don't do something long enough to reap the benefits. Yep, you got it. It's called the 90-day trial. I call them dream hoppers. That's what I call them. One day they want to be Hulk Hogan. Next day they want to be Johnny Cochran. They wrestling with Randy, Macho Randy, whatever his name is, in their backyard with their friend. I'm going to be a big wrestler. And the reason I'm saying that is because I seen this. Y'all want to be an actor? Oh yeah, y'all, hire me. You sure? Yeah. You're not getting no money? You're going to have to come every day we need you? You're going to film 12, 13, 14, 15 hours, 17-hour days? You sure? We don't got no money, dude. We got to do this until this film is right. And then when we do the film and we put it out, the film still may fail.
And guess what we're going to do after that? You're going to do it all over again.
Make another one.
And you're going to do it again and again until they recognize us. Yo, bro, I'm down, man. Let's go. Let's go. 2 weeks, they're out of there, buddy. Then you see the YouTube, you see the Facebook, they're now wrestling. And this is a real story with somebody. Now they wrestle. Shout out to that dude. But I'm using him as an example, as someone that I spoke to, this guy. And I said, dude, you cannot dream hop. If you want to be an actor, you're going to have to go through years and years of work. And it may not work even at the end. Mm-hmm. But you'll get something out of it. But if you do something for 30, 60 days, you cannot say you fully gave yourself. You didn't. You don't understand what came with it. You don't understand the stress that came with being successful. Is not easy. And then when you become successful, you know what the next stress is? How to maintain it. Mm-hmm. How do you remain successful after becoming successful? Because then you need to stay in the door. You're not trying to get kicked out of it. So there's levels to it. But these guys just look at the end result. They just look at the end result. Oh, Rich got a car, he got a Mercedes, he got a Porsche, man. Yeah, man, he's greedy, man. Go do what Rich do. Rich need a day off. You can go do it. And then when they see the work, they don't want to do it anymore, dude. That's why I call everyone, I could direct films too. Dog, I had dudes vomiting. They couldn't do it. Rich, when I say I don't sleep, but the thing that keeps me up, the thing that fuels me, you got to find your passion. Because if you're not passionate about it, in the words of Bill Gates, it gets old fast. You got to be passionate about it. And thank God I found mine. Because if I was in the medical field, I would have been very miserable right now. Like extremely. I don't know what I would have done. I would have eventually quit. But I'm just happy I didn't get stuck owing loans and at that hospital. So whatever industry you're in, if you're listening to this, man, and you're miserable, I would say make a plan to get out and do it, man. That's honestly what I was saying. Same thing with Damon John said. Fubu. Created Fubu. After school, after he worked at Red Lobster, he saved his money and went and did Fubu. Eventually, he became Damon John. I think, half $500 million now he's worth? But it all takes time, bro. So you and I, Rich, are trying to do the same thing. And usually where you get that is purpose and passion, man.
No, 100%. Y'all, this was...
Yeah, brother. We need it. I had to get it off my chest, man.
Insightful. So, what can people expect from your brand going forward? Rest of 2024, 2025?
So the news comes like this. We were going to go to Amazon for the show, Collateral Interest, right? I'm supposed to be, let me see here. I'm supposed to be receiving a phone call very, very soon. Rich, you know why? Huh? You know what, brother?
What we got?
When is this coming out?
This will be out maybe...
If it's coming out soon, then I can't say it then.
It'll be maybe like... It'll be the end of April.
What month? Oh, we safe. All right. So, brother, I'm not going to Amazon no more, man.
Wow.
I'm officially a Hollywood director.
Wow.
No more independent. I'm done. I did it, man. I finally made it. It was... I mean, I'm sure some people had it easier in terms of getting in, and some people probably had it more difficult. But after 11 years, 3 a.m. in the cold, going to Bayshore High School with my tripod by myself in the middle of the football field, telling my mom I got this, walking downstairs with my tripod, and my brother and different people say, man, you stupid, you wasting your time, you waste your money. Failed film premieres, 60, 70 film festivals per movie. They failed. Traveled to Kansas, to Pittsburgh, driving in cars 8 hours, blowing all my money in my bank account. Telling my wife, help me with this, I can do this. Telling my mom, certain people not want to help. Lost girlfriends tell me, you're never going to make it. You're never going to be a good filmmaker. Your films suck. People laughing at me. After 11 years of 60-something movies, today, I'm officially a Hollywood director now.
Wow. Congratulations, man. Wow. I love to hear that. Just to see your growth, your dedication to it over the years, us being in similar industries. And why I say similar is because I operate my company completely different than you do.
Yeah.
And just you sticking to it. And then even coming on set, how you operate, just the pivot that you had. I watched you grab a random dude from South Beach and like, hey, yeah, we need somebody strong. We need somebody with muscle. Yeah. You grab a random dude, trained him up, talked to him, directed him, and did a whole scene.
Yeah, that was crazy.
And it looked like he meant to be part of it.
Yeah. And that was Jeff, by the way. Credit. I say it again. Jeff, we need somebody. I'll be back, coach. He walks into a random restaurant while the man is eating with 2 women. stops him in the middle of the meal. Jeff stops him and says, sir, I don't know, convince him, hey, my name is Jeff. I'm from New York, man. We're doing a movie. Really? Convinces him. Ran within 30 minutes. Jeff said, coach, I got someone. 300-pound muscular man. You need a team because you can't be everywhere at once or you don't possess the skill sets that others do. So I attribute my success and just getting into Hollywood, not only to myself, but my mom for the hard work that she showed me. My sister, my brother, my dad, what do you call it? Jeff, different people that I met. Devin Richardson, different people that I met throughout the course of my career. Everyone, failed relationships and ones that went well. You have to attribute it to it because I learned from those bad relationships. I learned from those experiences and I didn't get here alone, dude. I didn't at all. And I never will reach any level of success alone. It's always going to take a group of people because someone has to give you the opportunity. Shout out to my manager, everyone. My man's on the phone constantly. This. It just takes a lot, bro. But if you really, really want it, if you really, really want it, you can do it, man. And I'm officially a Hollywood director now. So now we're going for an agent now. I'm going out to LA and by the time this goes, I'll be gone already. But yeah. So yeah, meetings and stuff. We're setting up some meetings with Blumhouse. You ever heard of Blumhouse?
Yeah.
Jason Blum.
Wow.
Him, that's Conjuring. Anybody knows those movies? Insidious. Paranormal Activity. They just merged companies with James Wan, which is the one that created Saw, if anyone knows. So we're setting up meetings with them. I have a meeting with Fox. By now, when you're seeing this, I already had the meeting ready by now with Fox. I had a meeting with MGM. Had a meeting with them. Wow. I'm talking about the vice president, not the assistants and the guys that do paperwork and get the sandwiches. Respect to them, but I'm talking about heavyweights. I met the vice president. I sat with her. Who else I meet with? Man, I met Fox. There's another big company. I don't know why it's slipping my head, but a lot of major companies that now know my name. First name basis. Like, hey, yeah, we like we want him to direct. So that's in the works now. And hopefully from this, another movie coming out also. I just finished post-production for it. Literally, they're doing a trailer. The guy sent it to me. That's called The Last Patient. That'll be out. Hopefully from this, my name gets in the bucket for the Spider-Mans and the Marvels. That's what's coming up next. And I'll still come out here and do the podcast, man.
Absolutely. See, it's about growth. So season 1, we've had people that came back for season 2 and the growth, astronomical. Astronomical. Like this one female, Bree, literally she might have lost maybe about like 50 or 60 pounds, she said. She grew her hair out. She moved to Texas from here and bought with her own money. I think she's at 5 houses now. Her tech company just went up even more, got valuated at a certain level. She won like a $200,000 grant. Like
you know why?
Astronomical.
Because the people that you invite to this podcast, there's a big difference. They are authentic people. You know what that means? The words that you guys are hearing here today are real. You see, there's a difference. You're going to interview people, meet people in life that talk very well.
Yeah.
And you're like, yo, this dude gonna go far in life. 6 years later, he's in the same spot because what he was saying was caparoni. It was cap. Facts. It was a lie. You see what I'm saying? Dudes talk. So the key is not talking or talk or not talking. It's just doing. So the people you brought here happen to share their stories with you, but everything they said, there was authenticity in it. When they said, Rich, you could do it. I'm going to do this 11 years. When you saw me saying that, I'm telling you, I've been through, 3 a.m., Bayshore, cops coming, no money, traveling. All this is in my head. I went through this stuff to get to this point. So someone can't just come and replace me. And that work is not just going to be diminished. It's not going to go anywhere. It has to go. You have to get a reward for your pain. I put too much pain in to not be rewarded. You have to.
Absolutely.
I have to get rewarded for it. So that's why, same with you, why you grew. That's why you continue. You went to the military. You saw things that we didn't. So you lost one of your good friends. That's Sean from high school. Remember him? You went through a lot of people don't know that. I don't know that. Maybe you haven't shared before. That's why Rich continues to go through. Pain drives success. That is the fuel for success, at least for me.
No, that's everything. If you look at anybody big that has made it, they've gone through a level of pain somewhere or another. And this even includes people who were born into money.
Oh, that's true too. Yeah. Just because you're born into money doesn't mean you may have it easier than someone in terms of like eating or getting an opportunity. Yeah, we know that. But that doesn't exclude them from pain. They're human beings. Correct. They're going to lose somebody to cancer, God forbid, or car accident. You still have to live a human life. Correct. Regardless. It just may be easier in certain aspects, but you still have to. But it doesn't determine the success. And in my opinion, sometimes, or most of them, I think the one that came from less usually goes further because he never had it. and you thrive for it so much. So it all comes down to the drive and the willingness to change, man, and be greater. And I'm the first entrepreneur in my family. So to call my mom, say, Mom, I did it. Now I'm a Hollywood director, first entrepreneur. I made my first 100,000 cash. Called her, like, you know, all those milestones that I had when I first hit my 100,000. I'm in Miami with Ferraris and stuff like that for the first. No, my family's never seen. Like, yo, this is the lifestyle that I'm trying to live. Just a comfortable lifestyle, create generational wealth, but also I want to help, because I think wealth without being shared is meaningless.
Correct.
It's greedy. It's just nasty. It's like, I got diamonds and cars and us, and it's just for you. The same opportunity you had, bro. How come you're not giving that to someone else? That's why my main focus will be, yes, live a comfortable lifestyle, but I will never rest and just chill for 2-3 months at home, eating, enjoying the life. I have to go out and help somebody else. We got to create programs in the hood, to say, to help other kids that don't know about film or entrepreneurship. That's my key thing. I always push entrepreneurship because it doesn't have to be film. Entrepreneurship is the key to artistry. Yeah. That's really what it is. As an artist, you create, but you even better if you can make a living doing that. So if I can teach them that, like, yo, you don't have to do this Dr. Science stuff and all this crazy stuff that they telling you to do. There's other ways to be successful in this country. You can be an entrepreneur. What is that? Business out of anything you want. That's all it is. It's creating a business out of straws, candy. I don't know, you name it. That's all it is. So that's what I want to do, man.
Wow. Yeah. I'm a proud friend.
For sure, brother.
Just the longevity, how long we've known each other, and we'll
long
continue
time.
to know each other, just Hollywood director, the first Hollywood director we have on here.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah. Thank you, man. God bless you guys.
Just wish nothing but success towards your company, you, Jeff. Big shout out to Jeff.
Jeff Youngs.
Just, man, if people wanted to tap in with you, watch some of your work, learn more from you, just follow your journey. Where could they do that at? Follow
me on Instagram. I'm always updating and putting stuff on Instagram. Apart from Instagram, you're going to see it now. You're going to see it. This is April, May, probably will say the, what do you call it, the release date. Mm-hmm. So the release date of Collateral Interest. What else is there? Collateral Interest is not going to be a show anymore, from what the studios told me. We're making it into one movie.
Wow.
Based on the success of that movie, they're giving me a season 2.
Wow.
Full 8 episodes, 1 hour each. So that's that. Then I have my the movie coming out after. That's the feature I just did with Nessa Noel again, Panther Role. Shout out to him, Brock Davin, Andrew Aarons. That film is coming out. It's called Last Patient. It's about a psychologist that is kind of abducted too. She's held captive in her office and has to cure a man of his depression. If she cures him, she lives. If she doesn't, he kills her in the office. Very deep psychological movie. That's next. And then 2025 is the big feature. I'm going bigger. And you'll see what that is. Oh, I'm sorry. And then we have Tochi. Remember I told you my mentor got cancer?
Yeah.
That one is coming. Her cousin is Uzo Aboda. I'll say the name. Uzo Aboda, which is she just did a Netflix TV show called Painkillers. You ever seen that?
No.
That's big. She's a star. She also has a TV show on Showtime. She's an A-list Hollywood star. She's the cousin of my mentor. I didn't know that. So we're hoping that she executive produces or something comes out of it. We're hoping, even if she doesn't, we're not, there's nothing obligated to do anything. But just the fact that she gave us her praise is enough. She shared it on her Instagram. So it's getting some traction. And then my mentor is amazing. Point blank, period. That lady, Dr. Tochi Rogan-Lee's, taught me almost everything I know. So that's 3 things this year. And then 2025, I'm going out the roof. I'm going bigger. Remember I tell you, you get the formula, then you add a little more. So I'm just going to add a little more to it, or a lot more rather. And 2025, I'm eventually trying to hit that Spider-Man, Black Panther level, where it's like, $1 billion in the box office. Creed franchise is what I'm trying to go towards, something that's like unforgettable.
Avengers Endgame opening weekend.
Yeah, you get
157 million in one day.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. And you brothers, red carpet, y'all coming, man.
Absolutely.
Y'all coming for sure. And anybody that know me knows I stand on my word. That's one thing about me. I don't just, people come to podcast, they just want to be friendly. If I say it, I stand on it, man. So you two are definitely coming, man, to enjoy yourself and your network.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Man, listen, this was an insightful episode. Make sure y'all tap in with y'all, all social medias. Check out the work. Check out everything that's coming out here. And, as we always say, it's your host, Mastermind Rich. And we look good. We live good. Life is good. Talk to us. We talk back. And we out of here.